We're talking about a coin that could have you running to your collection in a full-on sprint. The 2005 Mint Mark Washington quarter dollar. Stick around because you might have one in your pocket, and if you do, well, let's just say you might be sitting on a small fortune. No joke. This coin could be worth $91,000. Yes, you heard that right. So, let's dive into what makes this particular quarter so valuable. First off, let me just say, most of the time when people think of a Washington quarter, they think, it's just another old coin. And hey, for the most part, you'd be right. Most of those quarters are worth face value. But the 2005 Washington quarter? Oh, this one is different. It's not your average quarter you toss into the laundry machine and forget about. Why is it special? Great question. The 2005 Mint Mark Washington quarter dollar features a design that was part of the 50-state quarters program. This program, which ran from 1999 to 2008, released a series of quarters honoring each of the U.S. states. But here's where it gets juicy. In 2005, the coin's design included the state of Minnesota, yes, the land of 10,000 lakes, and the famous Voyageurs National Park on the reverse side. Now, most of these coins are, well, just normal quarters, but there's a catch. A very small number of these 2005 quarters were accidentally produced with a minting error. Some of them, due to a mix-up at the minting facility, were released with a special feature that makes them stand out. A certain error in the die used to stamp them. This made them extremely rare, and, like a vintage comic book that somehow survived the trash bin, these quarters have skyrocketed in value. So, if you've got one of these rare 2005 Washington quarters, well, you're probably sitting on a gold mine that I remember when I first heard about this. I was like, there's no way. It can't be true, but it's real. If you have one of these error coins in good condition, you could be looking at a market value of around $91,000. Yep, 91K. That's not a typo, my friend. That's almost enough to buy a small house or maybe a lifetime supply of pizza. But hey, you've got to know what you're looking for. And just so we're clear, the value of this coin depends on its condition, rarity, and of course, that little minting error that makes it stand out from the sea of regular quarters. Coins with mint marks that show a clear error or irregularity, especially if they're uncirculated, can command top dollar prices in the market. Let me share a quick story from my own collection. A few years ago, I was digging through an old coin jar I found in my attic, full of forgotten coins from my childhood. I had no idea what I was looking at, and frankly, I was just hoping to find something worth a couple of bucks. Then there it was. I didn't recognize it at first, but I had a gut feeling something was different. It was an old quarter, but this one didn't look like the others. Turns out it had a small error that made it unique, and guess what? I made a nice chunk of change when I sold it. That's the beauty of coin collecting, folks. It's all about the thrill of the hunt and the possibility of finding something valuable when you least expect it. So, here's the deal. The 2005 Washington quarter dollar with that special minting error could be worth $91,000. It's one of those coins that makes you do a double take and check your pockets like you've just found a hidden treasure map. If you've got one of these rare quarters, you might want to get it appraised, and fast. And before you go rushing off to search your coin jars, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for more tips on valuable coins and ways to spot hidden treasures in your own collection. Who knows? The next $91,000 find could be just one coin flip away. Catch you on the next coin adventure, and remember, keep on collecting, and you never know when you'll strike gold. If you enjoyed this video, drop a like, share it with your fellow coin hunting friends, and leave a comment if you've ever found a coin that surprised you with its value. I'll see you in the next one. We're diving into the wild world of the 2000 Washington quarter dollar. A coin that might be chillin' in your couch cushions, quietly flexing a 5-figure price tag. Alright, grab your coin jars and your magnifying glasses because we're about to uncover what makes this 2000 quarter so special, how to spot a valuable one, and yes, I've got a personal story that'll make you double-check every coin in your house by the time we're done. Let's kick things off with the basics. The 2000 Washington quarter was part of the 50-state quarters program, and the P stands for Philadelphia Mint. That's where it was made. Now, normally, these coins are just worth face value, but not this one. Why? Because of a minting error. And like most things in life, it's the little flaws that make it interesting, and in this case, incredibly valuable. The big money 2000p quarter we're talking about has what's called a mule error. And no, not like the animal. In coin speak, a mule is when two coin sides that were never supposed to be together end up, well, together. In this case, the quarter has a state quarter obverse, that's the George Washington head side, but the reverse is actually from a Sacagawea dollar. You get a quarter with a dollar back. Boom! Instant collector chaos. Only a few of these bad boys are known to exist. One sold for $91,000 at auction. Another went for around $66,000. So yeah, if you find one, it's basically the coin version of winning the scratch-off jackpot. Alright, now here's where it gets funny, and a little painful. So a couple years ago, I was helping my uncle clean out his garage. He had this huge coffee can full of old quarters. Just for fun, I started looking through them. After about 20 minutes, I pulled out a shiny 2000p quarter. My coin-loving heart skipped a beat. I looked at the front. George Washington looking like he's seen some stuff. Check. I flipped it over, and boom, it was not the Sacagawea back. Just regular old New Hampshire. You could almost hear the sad trombone play in the background. Womp womp. Still, that moment made me realize these coins are out there. People have found them in circulation, and they're worth real money. So it pays to check. Literally. Check the year, 2000. Check the mint mark. It should have a small p under "In God We Trust." But most importantly, flip it and look at the reverse side. If it has the golden dollar design, an eagle flying with inscriptions from the Sacagawea dollar, congrats, you found yourself a unicorn. You can also spot other valuable 2000p quarters. Some have off-center strikes, double dies, or are struck on the wrong metal planchet. These can fetch hundreds or even thousands depending on the error and condition. So yeah, don't sleep on your change. I mean, who knew a 25-cent piece could pay for a Tesla? So to wrap this up, the 2000p Washington quarter dollar might look like pocket change, but in some cases it's treasure in disguise. Check both sides of your coins. Look for weird pairings. And if you think you've got something rare, take it to a professional or flex it in a coin group online. Coin nerds like me are always happy to help. And hey, maybe next time your kid tries to buy gumballs with your loose change, you'll be like, hold up. Let me see that quarter first. If you found this video helpful, funny, or at least mildly interesting, hit that subscribe button. Because here we don't just talk about coins, we hunt for hidden money, share collecting strategies, and help you turn your spare change into smart change. Click that bell so you don't miss out. Who knows, the next coin we talk about might be hiding in your glove box right now. Thanks for watching, and remember, always check your change, because treasure doesn't always come in treasure chests. We're talking about the 1990p Washington quarter dollar. So before you chuck your change into a vending machine for another bag of chips that'll disappoint you. Stick around. That quarter in your couch cushions could be your ticket to early retirement or at least a really good vacation. Let's dive in. The 1990p quarter doesn't look flashy. It's not made of silver or gold, and George Washington doesn't wink or come to life when you tilt it. But under the right conditions, this little guy is a hidden gem. So what makes this quarter so valuable? Here's the scoop. In 1990, the Philadelphia Mint pumped out over 800 million quarters. That's a lot of Washingtons. But the one that sold for $91,062? That one was in absolutely flawless condition, graded MS-68 by a professional grading service. In coin nerd language, MS-68 means this thing was basically born in a bubble. No scratches, no dings, just perfection. Now, you might be thinking, cool story, but how does that help me? Well, good question, my friend. Most 1990p quarters you'll find in circulation today are going to be worth face value 25 cents. But if you find one in amazing condition, with strong details, no wear, and that shiny mint luster, cha-ching, you could be sitting on something worth hundreds or even thousands. And there's more. Some of these 1990 quarters have errors like double dies, off-center strikes, and die cracks. These mint mistakes, collectors go wild for them. It's like the coin version of a factory glitch that turns into a gold mine. Let me tell you a quick story. So one day, I'm cleaning out my car, right? Under the seat, I find an old quarter stuck to a melted gummy bear. I peel it off, gross but worth it, and I notice it's from 1990. I clean it off, take a closer look, and what do I see? A super sharp strike and no visible wear. Now, I didn't strike it rich, it wasn't a $91,000 beauty, but I still got it graded and sold it for a cool 75 bucks. From sticky candy to cash. Not bad for something I almost vacuumed up. Moral of the story? Always check your change. And maybe stop eating gummy bears in the car. Now here's what to look for in a valuable 1990p quarter. Clean surfaces, no scratches, strong detail in George's hair, and the eagle on the back, that P mint mark should be crisp and clear, and if it looks a little weird, like it was printed off-center or has doubling, get excited. That might be an error coino, and don't forget about grading. If you think your quarter is pristine, it might be worth sending to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll give you an official grade, which can seriously boost the value. So to wrap it all up, the 1990p quarter could be worth more than your car, your couch, or even your student loan balance. Okay, maybe not that last one, but you get the idea. It's proof that you don't need a metal detector or pirate map to find treasure. Just a good eye and maybe some sticky fingers. Literally, if you had fun hanging out, learn something new, or just want to impress your friends by casually saying you might have a $91,000 coin in your pocket, hit that subscribe button. Seriously, do it. I've got more tips, tricks, and coin facts coming your way, and I'll help you turn that pocket change into profit. So grab a magnifying glass, dig through that jar of change, and who knows, your next coin might just be a game changer. Thanks for watching, and remember, every coin has a story. Make sure yours ends with $signs. We're talking about a coin that proves just that. The 1989 D Mint Mark Washington $quarter coin one just sold for a jaw-dropping $91,000. Yes, you heard me right, $91,000 for a coin you could have used to pay for parking. Stick around, because I'm going to break down what makes this coin worth serious cash, how to spot one, and why your change jar might be hiding a jackpot. Alright, let's get into the good stuff. So, the 1989 Washington quarter, minted in Denver, hence the little d. Under Washington's neck is usually just your everyday pocket change kind of coin. Millions were made and most are worth face value, but once in a while the coin gods smile upon us, and bam, you've got a winner on your hands. Now, what made that $91,000 coin so valuable? It all comes down to condition, rarity, and collector demand. That specific coin was in near perfect condition, graded MS68, which is mint state. 68 on the Sheldon scale. Basically, it looked like it had just been teleported straight from 1989 without even touching air. But wait, there's more. There might be other factors like off-center strikes, double dies, or other funky mint errors that make collectors drool. Imagine finding a quarter where Washington's face looks like it's melting or the lettering is all jumbled up. That's not a mint mistake, that's a payday. Here's where it gets fun. Let me tell you a quick story. I was at a garage sale a few summers ago looking for vinyl records and old comic books when I paid with a couple quarters. The guy picked one up, squinted at it, and said, "Hey, this looks weird." He gave it back and said, "Keep this one, it might be worth something." Turns out it was a 1989 D quarter with a noticeable strike-through error, not a 91,000 coin, but I flipped it online for 150 bucks. Not bad for something that was about to buy me a cup of lemonade and a used Hulk comic. The moral of the story: never underestimate your spare change. Now, if you want to check your own quarters, here's what to do. Step 1, check the year, make. Sure, it says 1989. Step 2, look for the D mint mark that's under Washington's ponytail. Well, if he had a ponytail, you get what I mean. Step 3, look for signs of perfection or errors. A shiny, clean surface with no scratches or unusual markings could mean big bucks, but weird stuff like extra lines, off-center images, or doubling in the letters and numbers might mean you've hit the jackpot. And remember, coin grading is a thing. You might want to get it professionally evaluated. If it looks promising, don't go cleaning your coin with toothpaste and a toothbrush, though that's a no-no in the coin world. You might as well give it a haircut and call it a day. So there you have it, folks. The 1989 D Washington quarter might just be more than your average soda-buying coin. With the right condition or rare error, it could be worth thousands, even up to $91,000. Now, before you run off to flip your couch cushions, don't forget to smash that subscribe button and hit the bell so you never miss another money making coin tip. We all about finding hidden value in your pocket change right here on this channel. I've got more stories, strategies, and maybe even some cringeworthy dad jokes coming your way. We're diving into the wild world of the 1965 no mint mark Washington quarter and why some of these bad boys are selling for the price of a luxury car. Stick around, because I've got the juicy details, the collector's secrets, and a quick story about how I almost accidentally gave away a small fortune for a candy bar. Let's go. So first things first, why is the 1965 quarter so special? Well, 1965 was a big year for US coins because it was the year the government said, "Hey, silver's too expensive, let's stop putting it in our quarters." Before 1965, quarters were made of 90% silver, beautiful shiny money you could actually melt for a profit if you were feeling spicy. But starting in 1965, quarters were made of copper and nickel sandwich metal. Yum. Here's the kicker, though: some 1965 quarters were accidentally struck on leftover silver planchets, aka the metal discs meant for the old silver quarters. Oops, these Silver-struck 1965 quarters are the holy grail for collectors, and guess what, they have no mint mark and look almost identical to the regular ones. So, how do you tell the difference? Easy test way. Eat a regular 1965 quarter should weigh about 5.67 grams, but a silver one, it'll tip the scale around 6.25 grams. Doesn't sound like a big deal, but to a collector, that 0.58 grams is the difference between 25 cents and, honey, we're retiring early. Also check the color. The edge of a silver quarter won't have that copper stripe like modern quarters. Now for the fun part, how much is one of these worth? One lucky 1965 silver quarter was sold at auction for a jaw-dropping $91,000. Imagine finding that in a vending machine refund slot. I'd pass out. And it's not just one rare unicorn floating around. There are a few known examples, so yes, they're rare, but not impossible. Here's a little personal story to keep things real. Back in college, I had a small jar where I dumped all my change. Classic, right? One night I was digging through it for laundry quarters and found an older-looking coin. Didn't think much of it, used it to buy a bag of chips. Fast forward a few years, I got into coin collecting and found out about the 1965 silver quarter. I swear to you, I sat on the floor staring at that empty chip bag like it had betrayed me. Moral of the story: always check your change, folks, even if you're just hungry for Doritos. Alright, my fellow treasure seekers, that's the lowdown on the 1965 no mint mark Washington quarter. It might look ordinary, but if you find one that weighs heavy and has no copper edge, you could be looking at a coin worth tens of thousands of dollars. So next time you're about to toss your spare change into that dusty coffee, can take a second and check those quarters. And hey, if you love finding money where you least expect it, learning coin collecting hacks, or just enjoy hearing stories about snack-related financial disasters, hit that subscribe button. I drop videos on rare coins, valuable pennies, and sneaky quarters that could pay your bills and then some. Leave a comment if you've ever found a rare coin, or if you're checking your change as we speak. Thanks for hanging out, and remember, one person's pocket change is another person's jackpot. We're diving into the 1995 D mint mark Washington quarter, how to spot a valuable one, what makes it rare, and why coin collectors are ready to throw down 5 figures for it. And don't worry, I'll sprinkle in a few laughs and even tell you about the time I almost bought a burrito with a coin that could have paid off my car. Alright, let's talk basics. The 1995 D quarter was minted in Denver. That's what the little d stands for. Over 1.1 billion of these were made. So yeah, they're not rare in general. You can still find M in your change all the time. But, and here's the million-dollar twist, not all 1995 D quarters are created equal. The ones that have sold for serious cash usually have something a little different going on. We're talking mint errors. Crazy, glorious, valuable mistakes. Think off-center strikes, double dies, clipped planchets. Stuff that makes a coin stand out in the nerdy world of numismatics. Now the Holy Grail? That's a 1995 D quarter in pristine condition with a dramatic error, graded MS-68 or higher. These are like the unicorns of the coin world. And yeah, one of them sold for over 91 grand. That's more than most used cars, and it fits in your wallet. Wild, right? But even without a dramatic error, if you've got a 1995 D in mint state, say MS-65 or higher, it could still be worth a nice chunk of change. We're talking anywhere from $25 to $200 depending on the grade and demand. Not bad for a coin most people would spend on a gumball. Now let me tell you something kind of painful. A few years ago, I was at a gas station, starving. I just finished cleaning out my glove box. Found like $3 in change, mostly quarters. I paid for a burrito and some snacks, no big deal. Later that night, I'm watching a video just like this one. And what do I see? A 1995 D quarter. With the same weird off-center look as the one I handed to the cashier that morning. I think it was the same. Could have been. Probably was. That burrito cost me a house down payment. So here's the deal. If you've got a 1995 D Washington quarter, don't just toss it into a soda machine. Take a minute. Check the condition. Look for weirdness. And if it looks promising, get it graded. You never know. That quarter you almost used for laundry might just be your lucky ticket to a beach house and a new car. And hey, if you like finding treasure in the most unexpected places, like your couch cushions, hit that subscribe button. I'm dropping videos every week on coins worth serious money and the best strategies for building up your collection without breaking the bank. So go check your change. My friend. That boring quarter might just be a superstar in disguise. We're talking about a 1995 Washington quarter with a little P mint mark that could be worth up to $91,000. Yeah, you heard that right, $91,000. For a coin that's literally just been chillin' in pockets, gas station trays, and under car seats, so hang tight, because I'm gonna tell you why this coin is worth a small fortune, what to look for, and how a boring old 25-cent piece could turn into the biggest payday of your week, year, or maybe even your life. Alright, let's dive into the juicy stuff. The 1995 P Washington quarter comes from the Philadelphia Mint. That P is your clue, but not just any 1995 P quarter is valuable. This isn't one of those everybody gets a prize kind of situations. We're talking about a rare gem that shows up only once in a blue moon, or once in like 500 million quarters, because yeah, they minted over 1.1 billion of these things in 1995, so most of them are worth face value 25 cents, maybe 30 cents if it's extra shiny and someone's feeling generous. So why did one of these sell for 91 grand? Simple, it was in almost perfect condition. We're talking about a mint state 67 or higher. That's like if your quarter never saw the light of day, stayed wrapped in a coin burrito since 1995, and somehow dodged every fingerprint scratch and sneeze in existence. Now let me tell you a quick story. Last year I was digging through an old jar of change at my grandma's house, the kind it's been there since the 80s, and somehow always smells like dust and peppermint. I was just messing around, but then I spotted this super clean quarter from 1995 and my heart did that cartoon style be a dump. I thought I hit the jackpot. I even ran around yelling, "I'm rich," like I just won the lottery, only for my uncle to walk and check it out and say, "This is nice, but not 91K nice." Womp womp. Still, it taught me something. If you don't check your change, you'll never know where's what you want to look for to see if you've got one of these high roller quarters. First, check the mint mark. You want that little P on the front side, just to the right of Washington's ponytail. If it doesn't have the P, it's not the one we're talking about. Second condition is everything you need that quarter to look like it just came out of a time machine. No scratches, no dings, strong details, especially around George's face and hair. If his cheekbones look chiseled like he just walked off a Hollywood red carpet, you might be in business. And third, some of these valuable coins also have subtle errors, double dies, weak strikes, off-center designs. Those kinds of minting mistakes can turn a regular coin into a collector's dream. Now, you're probably wondering, okay, but where do I even get my coins graded to know if it's worth anything? Good question. You can send your coins to professional grading companies like PCGS or NGC. They'll grade your coin from 1 to 70 and seal it up in a protective case. That's what turns your quarter from, "Hey, this looks cool," to, "Hey, this is worth a house down payment." So to recap, check your change, look for that 1995 P mint mark, aim for pristine condition, and if it looks like a coin version of a beauty queen, send it off for grading. You never know what's sitting in your piggy bank or that old coin jar in your kitchen. You might just be sitting on $91,000 disguised as lunch money. And hey, if you like finding treasure in your pocket and learning how to turn everyday coins into serious cash, make sure to hit that subscribe button, give the video a thumbs up, and drop a comment if you've ever found a weird or valuable coin. New videos coming every week showing you what coins to keep, what to sell, and how to become the Sherlock Holmes of spare change. Thanks for watching, and remember, next time you get a quarter back from the vending machine, take a closer look. It might just be your lucky day. We're talking about one of the most surprising finds out there. This little guy, the 2020 P mint mark Washington quarter dollar, and its crazy market value. Okay, so you're probably thinking, 2020? Really? I mean, we all know what 2020 was like. A global mess, a lot of Zoom meetings, and of course, coins still getting made. But here's the twist. This coin, this specific one, could be worth more than your car, your vacation fund, or that giant stack of takeout receipts you've been hoarding. Why? It's all about that P mint mark. That tiny letter at the bottom of the coin. Philadelphia. People. Now, let me break it down for you. The 2020 P mint Washington quarter has some pretty funky errors, including some rare ones where the die was damaged. This gave certain quarters an unusual mishap that collectors are obsessed with. We're talking off-center strikes, extra designs, and some other funky stuff that can really drive up the value. But here's the real kicker. Not every 2020 P mint quarter is worth 91 grand. No. It's about finding the rare ones. The coins with misprints or mistakes that slipped through the cracks of the US Mint. Think of it like hunting for a four-leaf clover. But when you find it, it's made of solid gold. Some of these coins, especially those with deep errors or off-center strikes, have sold for as much as $91,000 at auction. I mean, imagine this. You're going through your spare change, tossing quarters in a jar like everyone does, and boom, you pull out one of these rare bad boys. You're suddenly a coin millionaire. Well, almost. A little bit of luck and a lot of patience is all it takes. Oh, and maybe don't spend it on coffee just yet. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying your next Starbucks run will turn you into a billionaire. But if you happen to have one of these rare 2020p mint quarters, here's what you need to look for. Check the details, especially the mint mark. Check for any errors, misprints, or oddities in the design that might make it special. And if you spot anything unusual, get that coin appraised by a professional, because if it's a rare one, you could be sitting on a small fortune. Now, let me tell you a personal story. I once found a quarter from 1972 in my couch cushions. I thought, hey, this is a nice, worn-out piece of history. But as I flipped it over, I noticed the mint mark was kind of faint, a little too faint for comfort. I went ahead and took it to a coin dealer, and to my surprise, I found out it had a rare error. Nothing close to $91,000, but it was worth way more than I thought. Moral of the story? Never underestimate your spare change, and always check those coins before tossing them into your junk drawer. So, folks, the 2020p mint mark Washington quarter dollar may not be your average pocket change. But if you're lucky enough to find one of these rare gems with an error or misprint, you could be holding onto a small fortune. If you're out there checking your quarters, remember to stay vigilant, and maybe, just maybe, you'll find one that's worth thousands. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button for more tips, tricks, and coin hunting strategies. I'm here to help you turn your spare change into some serious cash. And hey, if you do find one of these rare quarters, make sure to let me know. I want to hear your success stories.